Hey guys, Sublord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Batman from Batman Noel, just in time for St. Patrick's Day and the end of winter and beginning of spring, might I add. But this, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys, who are going to remain fine folks for the majority of this review. Because while I am skeptical if we're going to get the rest of the Batman Noel cast, of course being Jason Todd, Selena Kyle, Superman, and of course Mr. J, the Joker, I'm very happy with this figure. Despite the fact that even though it's called Batman Noel, it's got literally jack diddly squat to do with Christmas, it is just a new version, new-ish version of the Page Punchers Batman from the very first 7-inch Page Punchers wave that we got several years ago. It had John Constantine in it, and I believe there was a Black Adam and a Superman. I guess it was more like a few years ago, huh? Either way, it's a redo of that. He's got more of the black and gray instead of the black and almost greenish color that older one had. He's got a wired cape, which, while it's still made out of the crinkly material, I don't mind it as much this time around because it's a lot shorter and it doesn't really hinder his posability in any way, so it's fine, but it's not great. It's not what I want. I want the t-shirt material like Chris Reeves and even the Power Girl had. That'd be much better, especially for me, but it is what it is. That said, we do have some accessories to talk about, so before I get too far ahead of myself, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and potatoes of this review and take a look-see at said accessories. Starting off with the collectible trading card. Which, by the way, Batman Noel is like the DC Comics version of A Christmas Carol, so I'm going to have to like YouTube that and see if there's like a story reading of it or like a video breakdown of it. It said there's some stats on the back. And on top of having the hands he's got, we do have a single grip hand, which is a trigger finger, of course, and a hand with the binoculars sculpted into them, which is pretty sweet. I'm probably going to give him that. And he also has a Batarang. I believe the Platinum is a Christmas present, so I might be on the hunt for that. I'm not sure. This is black and gray. The other one is blue and gray. That said, other than that, he does have the hockey puck display stand we're using with all McFarlane Toys releases, an open hand and a fist hand. Now, the question is, since he has the binoculars sculpted in, why isn't the Batarang just sculpted in? And why didn't we just get a pair of fists? What is with the half handsets with these companies? It's like, you know, we could give them, you know, 2 fists and 2 open hands, but we're just not going to do it, even though it's literally flipping the digital file. Like, that's all it is. Flip it to the other side. Whatever. I mean, it's fine. I'm going to give him the hand with the binoculars anyways. It's just he's going to have an open hand with nothing in it. Whatever. But, really cool figure. I dig him quite a bit. Even though I'm not really into the armored tactical look for Batman, this is really cool. It's something different. He almost has like the spiky dads on his boots too because of the way these straps are. He's got the little fins on his gauntlets. He's got short ears. If this thing had like longer ears and more jacked proportions, I think I'd like it even more. But it's accurate to the artist rendition and the story arc, as far as I can tell anyways. So that's good. That's all that really matters. If I want a cool-looking Batman done my way, I should just draw it, shouldn't I? Kind of hard to do that when you're visually impaired, though. Either way, as far as articulation goes, his head can look up pretty far. Can look down. Can tilt side to side, as well as rotate. Does he have a neck joint? No, it's a solid piece. Shoulders will go up, not very far because of this shoulder pad here, but if you heated this maybe, you could probably peel it up a little bit to get a little bit more range out of that. But as it stands, it's nothing to write home about. It will rotate. He does have the beautiful butterfly. Gets you a little bit of forward and back, but not much. He's got a bicep swivel, double elbow. Kind of gappy though. He does have ball hinge wrists so he can hinge, rotate, and swivel. Diaphragm joint. Lean back this far, forward this far. You can tilt a little bit and rotate Well, he can rotate up here too, but it's a little solid. I'm not gonna lie. Does he have a diaphragm? Or is it just all in the waist? No, he's got a diaphragm. It's just a little... The sculpt of the upper body goes down way past the joint. That's why it's not really moving the way I thought it was. But he does, of course, have a waist. You just saw that. Hips will kick forward and back. Out. Back down. He does have a little thigh cut. Not a ton. I will say the hips on this wave, decent. Not too loose there. Double knee. That's not too gappy. That looks fine. I don't know why the elbow's gotta look so chunky. Then he's got ball hinge ankles that will rotate, hinge, pivot, and toe joints that are, well, tight, but they don't move very far. So there you go. There is Batman Noel. He's cool. I dig him. I think he might be the sleeper for me, at least in this wave, because I was kind of looking to Silver Age Batman the most, and then, you know, the crinkly cape kind of soured my experience with that figure. But, you know, we did get Ace the Bat Hound. We didn't have to pay an extra $10 for something that don't move. But this guy, I don't know. I really like this figure. Libre Mayho is the guy who designed this suit for Batman. I couldn't remember it, but I just did now, so I figured I'd throw it in there. Libre Mayho. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but don't quote me on that. Don't hold me to it. Can never hold Overlord to anything, because I am not a super genius. So, with that being said, if I can get him centered here, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Batman Noel, alongside the other figures available in this very Batman-centric wave of DC Multiverse figures. We got the Silver Age Batman and the Batman Beyond from Neo-Gothic, and as I said before, I think the scaling amongst these three is great. The armored Batman's bigger, Silver Age is a little smaller, and Batman Beyond is a little smaller than that. So, nothing to complain about there, because we all know McFarlane's scaling at the beginning of this line, it still kind of is, but I think it's gotten better over time, right? Right? No, maybe not. But in this case, it is. Getting the two of them out of here. So we can bring in Brother Nibelith right there. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who, compared to this Batman, is still taller, but not towering. I think this Batman's pretty good to go up against a more modern Spawn like this. What do you guys think? So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while I do think that this is a very much adequate figure of the Dark Knight as he appeared in Batman Noel, I have to say I'm a little sick and tired of the half sets of hands. Give us 2 grip hands, 2 fist hands, 2 open hands, and if you're going to throw something extra in there, throw something extra in there. Don't be stingy. We just looked at a couple of Batman figures that were reused, just like this one, that came with 3 sets of hands each, a loose Batarang, and a freaking Ace the Bat Hound to boot. They also had bigger crinkly capes, but I'm not counting that because, like I said before, not a fan of the crinkly capes. This one's a little less egregious because it's shorter, but it's still a crinkly cape, and I really miss the more t-shirt-esque material that we saw in the Christopher Reeve or the Power Girls cape. That said, the biggest question is, are they going to make the other characters from Batman Noel? Particularly Jason Todd, Catwoman, Superman, and the Joker. I would really like to see that, but we all know how long it takes McFarlane Toys to complete things nowadays. They were good at it before, now, not so much. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.